Hi everyone, it is Natalie from Being Intentionally Creative. Now I know we've done this project before. I got playing a little bit more with it. I can't tell you the video that I've done previously where I've done this type of deal, but there's a video out there somewhere. But I got playing again and I was having some fun, and then I tried something else and I went, let's do another video on this. So I just want to show you the pieces I've done most recently, and then we'll get around to doing our pieces. So I want to show you this. This is actually a wood ornament that is in the ceramic resin. Now, I haven't done any testing to see whether or not I can rip that out. I don't think I'm going to be able to, only because being that this is a water-based product, that the ceramic resin is actually soaking into the wood. And I think you can tell that a little bit by the fact that we've got the shadowing. Now, this particular one that I did, I decided that I was going to put a varnish on the other side. So this has no varnish on it, this side here. The other side has a varnish on it. And I did that to help a little bit not have so much of the, product sink into the wood piece. I'm pretty sure I've got another one flying around my world here somewhere that I hadn't. And the one we do today, so I've got another wood piece. We're going to do this as well, but I have nothing on it. So to be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure, is it better to or better not to put a coating on it. But I wanted to play, like I usually do, to see whether this would work. Now, I'm noticing a little bit of shrinkage around the bottom here. I haven't sanded this. I have not done anything to this piece whatsoever, but it looks like it's shrunk a little bit. So can I 100% say that wouldn't come out? No, I can't. I would though. So my idea, and I haven't done this yet, I wanted to decorate this up a little bit, and then I would cover it with resin, which would secure it not coming out. I would use a 2-part epoxy on this to do it versus UV. Now, the reason I'm saying that is because if my UV resin doesn't set up, sometimes we have an issue with UV resin. It gets a little tacky. It doesn't set up as well as we want it to. And they say with UV resin, if you put it on top of resin, then you set it up. And if it's still got a little tacky, put it in water, and then, it will set up better. Well, I'm not going to be putting this in water because I have no idea what would happen if I put UV resin. And maybe that's something we try, is doing a ceramic resin piece, putting some UV on, not having it set up completely, and putting it in water. I don't think that's a good idea, but I have not tried it. So I would use a 2-part epoxy to seal these up and finish them up. But I wanted to see, would the wood piece stick in? And I've done a video previous, and this is going way back, where I had some resin pieces that I put down inside the mold, and then we poured ceramic resin, and it actually held. It held together, which was brilliant. And that's, again, somewhere in my world around here, in a box, probably somewhere. Anyway, that's that one. This one I got from Michael's, and these are probably more something I'm going to put on Christmas cards, but I thought, let's try using these in the ceramic resin. Now, these are sort of going to work out a little bit different. These are like the chips, the terrazzo chips that you can get, well, I guess online, for the mixed mold. And we could sand that down and we'd probably be okay. I don't think it would pick it up, but I'm not 100% sure if I would run into an issue with sanding this. So I'll probably attempt to sand this and just see, do these stay stuck? And I have a little bit of a trick for you on keeping things stuck down, specifically with the tree and with these confetti snowflake pieces. Okay, but I wanted to see if that would work, because I thought, well, that'd be kind of neat, because you've got the iridescent look, and I don't know if you're picking up on that or not. There, a little bit, eh? So I wanted to try that out. I'm willing to try almost anything. This is a piece I did using tissue paper. Now, I don't know how well you're going to see this, but it actually being that's tissue paper, obviously we know how thin that is, but it's actually sort of created divots, lines in it, which I actually like. I'm into, again, as you watch more of my videos, if you haven't been following me for a while, you'll get to learn that I like to do things different. I don't like run-of-the-mill. I need to go outside the box when I do my creative pieces. So there are lines through here where I guess it's sucked the tissue paper up into the ceramic resin, which I think is kind of neat. None of these have a seal on them whatsoever. I was just playing around. All right, and then this is using a napkin. Now, what I did find out, interestingly enough, I hadn't been measuring to find out how much I would need of the ceramic resin to actually fill this pretty much to the top. I now know how much that is because you'll notice I have crevices in here and sort of, you know, things aren't quite right. Obviously, a napkin is going to soak up this stuff a lot more than tissue paper is, but I didn't quite get enough. I didn't have enough for the ceramic resin, but I love how that looks. And then I would definitely put a 2-part epoxy sealer on this. And what I might do, again, I haven't played enough, so I don't know, is whether it would be worthwhile putting some Mod Podge or something like that on this before. I think that's something maybe we have to test out, or I have to test out which is the better way to put some Mod Podge on it first and then seal it with resin, or just seal it with resin. I always worry what the glue is going to do as it sits underneath the resin. That's always been a bit of a concern of mine, and maybe that's something we have to test out. And obviously, you know, the glue's not going to go yellow straight away, but like anything that sits in the sun, it will fade or it will yellow. Like I've got pieces that have, and I know the sun fades things. So anyone who were to say to me that, you know, you have I think they're better, like I've got a UV resin for outside, and it sort of says like it's got a level 3 on it. I don't know enough about the UV resins anyways, like the one specifically for outside. But I still think over time, things fade. It's just what happens. So I would never say to anyone, oh, it's never going to fade or it's never going to yellow, because I can't guarantee that, depending on where they put it. Direct sunlight, I don't think is a good idea, but sun is sun. Anyway, so this is what we're going to be working on, but we're not doing this today. And we're not going to do this. I want to see, and hopefully I'll remember to bring it back into my next video. I'll see if I can sand this down. I made this about 2 hours ago, so I'm going to let this sit, and then I'll work on sanding it down to see what happens. So I just want to get this stuff out of the way. I don't know where I want to put this piece because it's still wet. Nope. Bear with me as I try and find a spot to put this. And you know, I have product that's sitting here that I seriously have not done anything with, and we really need to make videos about it. All right, so I'm going to end up making 4 of these. You're going to have to wait until the end to see what the 4th one is. So what are we going to do? Well, I've got a piece of, and I'm going to move that out because I don't want you to see this one. Yeah. But it may keep you engaged to stick around for the whole video. Who knows? Right, we're going to do tissue paper again. We're sticking with the Christmas theme. I do have really cool Halloween, and I probably showed it to you. Tissue paper, but we're going in we're going into Christmas, so that's what we're doing there. We got this cute little guy here we're going to do. This is my napkin. The one I showed you was a 3-ply. This is a 2-ply. And then we're going to do my Christmas tree. All right. And we're going to, for our Christmas tree, we are going to use the Pixie spray aerosol to actually hold this down. Now, you may be wondering, so why not do it with the tissue paper and the napkin? Big reason is because I don't know. I'm probably might be okay if I used it with the tissue paper because it's got a wax coating on it. I don't want to use it on my snowman because I don't want to take it out and have like us lose the design. So we're not going to do that. but we will use it, definitely use it for the tree. And I guess I kind of want this to turn out, so I really don't want to mess with this. I don't want to mess with this. So obviously I've cut these out ahead of time. Being that this isn't a circular mold, that kind of messes things up too, because it's not, yeah. Anyone who's got the patience to cut this stuff down the way it needs to be, good on you. And I would also recommend that when you're working with the tissue paper, so you'll see how that's sort of bent there, is to try and get a piece that isn't, and I've been playing with this a little bit to try and smooth it out, and I haven't had a lot of luck with it, but anyway. So we won't worry about that. And the other thing that we're going to do when we pour this, we're going to pour in the center and let it go out. I just feel that's better because then it's going out this way, versus if we start at the outside, then there's potential of it getting underneath, as it did with this one. Now I did use the spray for these, but I don't think I pushed them down enough. I really should have made sure I pushed it down just in the center. I would recommend, if you have something that can just big enough and right on top, to push it right down enough. All right. So we've got this. Oops. So there you go. The tissue paper is sticking a little bit. And I wondered about, so for both, more the napkin than the tissue paper, of putting water on it, spritzing some water on it. And I'm pretty sure the ones we'd done before, they were actually coming up the sides, which, again, I didn't want to deal with in this video, so I cut them down. And I know, not the greatest job in the world. You, when you're doing this, can do a much better job than I'm doing, or have done. Again, it was more just to have some fun with this. And I think my other one with the tissue paper actually is better because it filled up more of the space. Yeah, it did. Anyway, that's okay. Yeah, we're over a little. Let's see if we can't pull this one over a little bit more so we have it more uniform. Okay, so let's just put these two off the side and we'll do our tree first. So what I did was I actually sprayed the tree with this Pixie spray aerosol. They say to shake it up really well. And then I'm going to use my, this paper here. I know what it's called. Oh, you people must love me. All right, so we'll spray this. Okay, I want you to be able to see this, so I don't really want to cover up too much. So that's probably way more than I need. And then all we're going to do, so this is really sticky. You can even see the tree in there. So we're just going to get rid of that. And then we're just going to take this. We're going to find center as best we can. All right, and then we're just going to push that down. All right. I picked this up at Michael's, if anyone is wondering, okay? And I got that, again, it's one of those things I got a long time ago, never did anything with it. Now, I'm a little off in my, where this is centered, but I'm not going to concern myself with that, because maybe what I can do is, if it looks a little too much off to the one side, is, you know, maybe put a little something beside it if I decide to take this further. I'm not putting any color in. I know I did in, I keep missing it. So this one, I put some Garnet in it. I used some of the Timu Garnet in this one. And I actually, you know what? I actually think I did green on that one. I don't know what I did with it. So anyways, let's just leave these white, although I am tempted to do a little bit. Because I'm dealing with the tree, you know what? We'll use the Garnet. Why not? Let's have some fun, people. All right. So, anyone up to anything interesting? And it can be anything. I have the last of my outdoor cleaning to do before snow flies. So, knowing that I tape these ahead of time, I am expecting snow. It's a beautiful day out today, and I have every intention of getting outside and finishing up. Because once the snow gets here, I don't even want to deal. So it'll take me about half an hour to finish up what I need to do, and then it can snow. And I have to remember my flag is outside on my deck. I've got to get it put away. Okay, let's get some of this in here. I'll put 4 drops in and we'll see how pink that goes. Now, one of my subscribers had mentioned that there's a company here in Canada that she has gotten some pigments from for ceramic resin. And I did look at it and I thought, oh, do you want to buy it and try it out? And I thought, Natalie, please don't. You have so much colorant. Don't. So I'm going to be good and I'm not going to. At some point, maybe next year. And being that we're in November and the United States has their Thanksgiving coming up, and then there's Christmas, things are going to take longer. Like, things always take longer because of the season. And I thought, you know what? I can wait. I can wait. So again, I'm going to start in the middle here. Okay. I just feel it's better to go over top of the piece you're doing just because it adds weight to it. Let me get that going in there. Go. All right. So this is 90 mils of ceramic resin. Now the other thing I'm going to tell you not to do, you can try it if you want, I'm not doing it, is I am not going to bounce this around, lift it, nothing like that, because I don't want to jar and have the piece end up like moving, lifting itself up, because that won't be helpful. So I'm not doing that. I'm just, I do what I do and then hope for the best. I think I'm getting a cold. I was really hoping I was going to avoid that. All right, so we'll just move this off to the side. Done and done. All right, let's do this next, and then we'll do... Now, I know that with the napkin, it does lift itself up a little bit. Like you've seen it with that. I'm hoping when I'm having the right amount of ceramic resin, that won't be an issue. Okay, and these guys, we're just going to do white. I'm not coloring this stuff at all. And I figure if these come out nicely, then I can finish them up and, oh, excuse me, I can use them for Christmas. I would probably see if I couldn't do a little bit better job on this one. I know there are people who are very good at fussy cutting, and I'm not one of them. But perhaps I need to take a little more time with it, right? So we'll get that out of the way. Okay, so when I talk about this, so you'll see that we're going to go in the center because I feel that's the best way to do it. Now, this may be a problem because of that one edge. I don't know. Hopefully the ceramic resin is enough to keep that down. I'm hopeful. Not guaranteeing, but I'm hopeful. All right. So we'll carefully move that out of the way. These will sit for an hour. I won't be taking them out before an hour. I know they're just coasters and I probably could, but I'm going to let them sit for an hour. Let's get all that stuff off of there. All right. And our snowman. Yeah, and I guess the other reason I don't really want to put a color on, especially the napkin, is because I don't want to change the color of my snowman. I think it all depends on what your napkin looks like. If it was something, like with the flowers, I might have been able to get, well, I don't even know with them. Like I was going to say, I might have been able to get away with a bit of a soft color behind them. But yeah, if you're going to do something like that out of color, I would maybe recommend you do a small sampling first before you, oh my gosh, excuse me, before you attempt a big piece. It's like that with anything. Practice with small pieces first so you can see, one, do you like it? Two, is it going to work before you do a great big piece? And granted, even if you do a small piece and it comes out great, sometimes the big pieces can get messed up. It's just sometimes it's a hit and miss, isn't it? So I can put that over there. Like that, right? So you can see. And then again, just starting in the center. And you may want to go just a little bit faster with the napkin, just because it is a napkin. And because we know what napkins are like as far as soaking up anything. So hopefully, because I've got the right amount of ceramic resin, it will keep that napkin down where it needs to be. And it won't come back up. And I would recommend too, depending on what you're doing, that if you're even if you're gonna do the small one and put a napkin in, make sure you've got enough of the ceramic resin or resin, whatever you're using, to cover it completely, so it's got the weight of the product on top of it, with less likelihood, I would think, of it popping up. So we'll find out with our snowman if that's the case, or if it's because it's a napkin, it doesn't care and it's just gonna do what it does, right? So I'm thinking that this coaster here, this might be from a different set. You know what? I don't know anymore. So we will let those sit. I'm going to do the final one without you. And I'll show it to you when I'm done. Fingers crossed it comes out the way I want. And yeah, we'll see if we've been successful with doing what we're doing. Oh, there's an air bubble. So that air bubble that just came up, I would say that's because of the hole in the center of it, and it keeps bubbling up. So I'm just going to let it do its thing. I don't think I'm going to stick anything in it. It keeps popping. So hopefully eventually it will stop doing that. That would be nice. I mean, eventually it's going to set up, right? I don't know if I hate to put my toothpick in it and then but it keeps coming up. So let's just see. I don't know. I think I'm just going to let it do what it wants to do. That's so cool. I can't really remember doing it with the last one that I made. I guess if I have a hole, I have a hole. See, and it's not filling in this time. So I'm just going to help it. I don't remember doing that with the last one. So that's something you're going to watch for. I mean, the Christmas tree, they're ornaments for a tree. That's why they've got the hole. So if you had any wood filler, you could fill that in. Yeah. It's doing it more. You know what? Just forget about that. We'll come back when these are ready to take out of the mold. I'll see you in a bit. All right. We are ready to take these pieces out. As you will see, I've got 4 of them. I did one without you. And I did use some of this pigment in the last one I did in the Garnet. I want to go back to this for a minute. I didn't follow the directions. I had sprayed my tree and then stuck it down. You're supposed to wait a minute. And like, this is meant for stencils. So I'm giving myself a little bit of leeway on that. But like anything, read the directions depending on what you're using it for, okay? Now, we're going to leave that one to the last. If we can flip them over. Okay, so there's our snowman. Let's see how well that did or did not come out. Now, I think it's definitely going to help that, and I would say be very careful when you're taking these out, because we know we're working with a napkin, and napkins are very fragile. I just want to be, it's like, stay where you're supposed to stay, Mr. Snowman. Alrighty. Okay, so that's what our mold looks like, but that's no big deal. Put this guy over here. Okay, so we did have some of this slip under. Now, I don't know, without ruining it, I'm going to get, and of course, be careful if you're going to be using one of these. I'm trying to think if I've got something else that might flip it up. I'm just wondering if I can get, I'm kind of concerned. So let me just very carefully see. Yeah, so I pulled it up. Yeah, it's ripping it. So that's something we have to be really aware of. If you can find a way to get the napkin to stay flat. Like I had thought of spraying this, like just a really light spritz of water to potentially hold this down. So obviously, yeah, we just managed to get some under it. Yeah, and you're going to put, and obviously we're going to pull up the napkin if we do that. So that's, I guess, something I'm going to have to figure out how to potentially do to keep the napkin down. Now, what I might do is I might see about using this Pixie spray on a napkin to get it down. The other thing you're going to want to watch for, and I can talk a little bit more with the last one I did, which I actually used the Pixie on. So fingers crossed it doesn't ruin it or we don't have a problem. Again, do a small test using that Pixie spray. My big concern with that is the fact that it's a napkin. So it may or may not work. I don't know. And I haven't tried it, so I don't know. Yeah, it is too bad that the ceramic resin has come underneath. And if I pull it up, it's ripping my napkin. It's ripping the napkin. But I mean, it's kind of a cool idea. I do like how it turned out, and I don't mind the indents whatsoever. It's just a matter of figuring out how can we make sure that it's going to stick okay. I could try one with the Pixie and see what happens and then show that to you later. Which one's this? So this is our tissue paper. I expect better results with this. Okay. Again, we've got the indents happening. There's a little bit of run, over top of this, but with this, because of the coloring, it's harder to see. Like there's a little bit right in here and down here. So it definitely is a lot harder to see. Let's see how our tree turned out. Now I don't know whether you can or not. I can just make out the tree in that. I don't know if you can see that or not. I'm trying to, I don't know if the tree is visible to you or not, but I can just make it out. So I'm thinking that I thought maybe where it was bubbling up was because that was where the hole for it, but it isn't. It's at the side of the tree. Okay, so this is, but it came right out. So I would definitely, so I can see a bit of a sheen on that. Where that Pixie spray was, I would definitely be sanding this down before I did anything else, especially if you want to color it. you would want to get, I would think you would want to get that off. And again, we've got the shadow outline around this tree. But I think you could have fun decorating that. And the other thing I want to point out is too, because you're dealing with that wood, leave this to sit. Like I've got my tray that I can put this on to let it, you know, evaporate the water out. But I found it a little bit better. This will not, I mean, I can push it down. It's set, but you can leave it on your table a little bit. It'll flatten out a little bit, but not much at all. So be aware that if you're using the wood pieces that you're going to have that that movement. Maybe you don't care, but if someone's going to be putting a drink on it or something like that, you need them to be aware of that. All right, so that's number 3. Yeah, that's too bad I got that air bubble there. It doesn't go all the way through, but I don't know if I sand it down if I'm actually going to have it come through. Yeah, anyway, it is what it is. Now, this is the final one. This isn't Christmas related at all. And nor is it my Halloween one. Okay. So this one is a piece of cardstock. Now, I did spray the Pixie product on this one. So as you can see, well, you may not be able to see very well, but I've got some air pockets underneath it. And it's a little tacky. So I'm not going to recommend. I think if we did that on a napkin, it's just going to ruin it. I don't recommend that. I could see spritzing that with a little bit of water to hold it down against the mold, and then pouring sort of straight away so it doesn't have the chance. But again, I haven't tried that, so I don't know if it's going to work. But this is like, I wanted to see what the scrap paper, it's not scrap paper, it's cardstock, Natalie, cardstock, would do. And the Pixie stuff, yeah. So we have some air bubbles anyway. It soaked it down in a little bit, but we've also got that tackiness going on. So I don't think I would recommend that, because if you were to go and sand this, then you're going to potentially ruin this. So would this be something I would do? No. And I don't even like it within the coaster itself. At least with, so this is fine. I don't mind that because it's a tree. It's in the center of it. It's not competing with the sides of this. So I don't mind that at all. I definitely like my tissue paper. I think that's cool. If you could figure out a way of like fussy cutting it well enough to get it so it was closer up to the edge, I think that would be cool. This one isn't as close as my other one. So I do like that. I do like the napkin. It's just a matter of figuring out, so how are we going to do it so that we under the napkin? This one I don't like at all because it's not like the shape of the paper versus the mold itself. So I would definitely want to do round and round or square and square or something like that. But this isn't, this is not floating my boat whatsoever anywhere. So that's, yeah, I may have to figure something else to do with this one to make it so I do actually like the idea of it. But yeah, I won't do the Pixie spray again because of the stickiness. Got to figure that one out. Do like that one. And I do like the wood. And there may be a matter of, I know Michael's, I'm pretty sure Michael's for this time of year has the plastic ornaments, flat ones, that may work much better because then we're not going to have anything soaking into, and it's not plastic. Is it Make Market that does those? I want to say plastic, but I know it's not an actual plastic. I don't believe anyway, but that would probably work better. So then you're not getting, but if you were to paint around it, you could take care of that. But it depends on how much work you want to do. So that is our video. I know, like I said, we'd done it before and I just wanted to sort of play with the ideas a little bit more. If I figure out the whole napkin, I will absolutely share that with you. If I get very good at wanting to fussy cut, then I can share that with you. And the wood, if I figure anything out new. But this one's going to have to be sanded for sure. I have to figure out something different with this one. Got to figure that one out as far as keeping the ceramic resin from not getting underneath. And this one just needed to have been cut better. And when you're doing that, like if you have a mold like this, I'm just going to, if you're not going to fussy cut it, yeah, you have to be totally cool with it being off like this. I did better with the napkin, I think. Anyway, it's a practice, experiment, play, and figure it out. So there you have it. Anyways, I hope you've gotten some ideas from this. And maybe what we need to do is do some more testing. I wouldn't mind seeing about doing a really a much smaller piece with the ceramic resin and then putting UV resin on top of it, and then seeing about putting the whole thing in water to see how the ceramic resin would handle being immersed in water while you're letting or ensuring that your UV resin is truly cured. Yeah, that's a hard one, but I may give that a go just because I can. And then we have that from the beginning, which I will let set up enough so that I can sand it down. Then I'll let you know how that one turns out. Anyways, let me know in the comments below what you think of what we've done here. If you've done anything like this, if you have any tips or tricks for the rest of us, because you have done something like this. Thank you for watching, showing up, commenting, and I will see you in the next video. Be creative, take care, and bye for now.